We ready?
Awesome.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for the invitation to be on your Arden's chats. It's an honor.
You know, and I dressed up for you today too. I just feel like real casual Friday over here.
You look great.
Thanks. Okay, let me pull it up because what I'm not seeing is what people are going to be asking. So let me pull it up on my phone.
Okay.
So you tell them who you are. Who you be?
Okay, great. So my name is Susan Harden, and I am a county commissioner. I probably represent you, especially if you live in South Charlotte. Basically, my job is to help, the community, support the community by providing all of our social services and guarding our health care and our education. So it's a lot of responsibility right now for being a county commissioner. We have, as you can imagine, this has been just an unbelievable 2 weeks in terms of just trying to do the right thing for the community.
Well, really, Susan, it's been 3 weeks for us because we started, you saw it coming. I always talk about Susan being a community leader. So she saw this coming and had to really take a stand. So what I want you to tell them first is, what does it feel like to be a community leader right now?
Well, I mean, it's really, it's tough because I can tell you that, we know that just what's required to keep our community safe. When you have the CEOs of Atrium and Novant saying, if you want people to survive this, pandemic, you really need to put a stay in place order in. When you have people like that telling you that that's really what you need to do, it's a lot of pressure because, people like you and, so many small business owners, so many large business owners, so many realtors. This is it's a huge deal to force the stay in place order. And so, it was a big decision, but in many ways, when you have, experts like that saying, this is what you got to do, it's like, this is what you got to do. So we're just trying now to think about how we're going to adjust and help people who are going to be struggling over the next months with their rent and their car payments and all the stuff that's required. Small businesses that they have rents to pay, their commercial rents to pay, how we're going to work through all this. So it's heavy, friend, let me tell you.
It is heavy. So first, I want to talk about the bright side. What are we, because I keep laughing. I don't know if you watched the Hunger Games or into it at all, but
Hunger Games.
I was outside walking and I saw a policeman drive by and I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to get zapped? Am I in trouble? So what can we do in this? So it's not shelter in place. It's not, but we are in home. What can we do? This weekend, it's gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous outside. Probably a lot of places all over the country are as I talk to people, we're all in similar places, right? We're under similar regulations. What can we do?
If you live in an urban community, if you live in a community probably of 500,000 people or more, you're experiencing this. This is kind of this is kind of what the rule is if you are in a populated community. So you're right, everybody's kind of dealing with this across the country. So what I would say is that what you can do is you really have to, you can't congregate. So basically it's going to be about small groups, it's going to be about social distancing, it's going to be about learning to use technology, and it's going to be about kind of taking time to be still a little bit in ways that if you're like me, Arden, you're running 1,000,000 miles an hour. So in many ways it's an exercise in learning how to be still. I see people doing a lot of things that are providing them real comfort, like working in their garden. People have really enjoyed that. People who I saw that you're taking up a walking regimen. I think that's awesome. I think that's really great. but you know, we have to like scale back on, you know, so team sports, not so much. We can't do that, you know, because the fact of the matter is that it's spread through respiratory droplets. So, I mean, if you're doing team sports, that kind of undermines what we're trying to do here. But, you know, in many ways, I mean, I think that I'm trying to see the you know, the silver lining, if there is any in this, in terms of just being able to do things that, I mean, my hectic schedule over the past 2 years has stopped me from doing. So, I mean, I'm start taking on some writing projects. I think people have time to read now. So writing things in less than 3 sentences, you know, is now a good time to do that, right? So, I mean, think of all. I was going to say, think of all the books you've read. You would make, I know many people have told you this, but you would make a good author. I mean, thinking about doing that children's book that you've always wanted to do, or thinking about, you know, kind of, and also recognizing that this may be the way going forward for a little while. So, you know, forcing yourself to get up to speed on conferencing technology, working or figuring out ways that you're going to, you know, expand your footprint now across the state or across the world now, because everybody's going to be doing this, thinking about how you can deliver your goods and services, you know, in different ways. I think this is, I mean, I think your comments are exactly right. The people who work hard and figure this out over the next couple of months are going to be the people that win in May and June and July and August. You're exactly right.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you real quick. Can I play volleyball?
No.
Okay. Can I go on walks?
Can you go on walks?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can I go to the park?
Yeah, but you gotta do your social distancing. Apparently the parks are just crammed, but you can't get on the play equipment.
Okay.
You know, I mean, so that kind of thing. So you just got to keep your social distancing.
Okay. These are questions I'm getting because my parents live an hour away. Can I go visit my parents?
Absolutely. Please do. The one thing I would say is that, especially for the one thing you have to recognize is that we know that you have to assume that you're carrying. You have to assume that everybody's either had it or been exposed to it. So you just want, I haven't actually seen my parents in physical, like actually been in their presence in about 3 weeks now. So, so, you know, my parents are very much compromised in their situation. So, you know, that, you know, but absolutely, you can drive anywhere you want to go.
Okay.
I mean, you can go on a beautiful drive. You can drive up on the Blue Ridge Parkway, you know?
Okay.
I mean, one thing you may struggle with is finding restrooms, because a lot of restrooms are closed. So just a note about that. Like,
True.
you know, like, so.
Susan,
you know,
we're just returning to nature. We're running out of toilet paper. So just use bleach.
I mean,
that's how you know your country, when you're like, just use the bleach. You'll be fine. I'm country. Y'all know I'm country. Okay. Now, I want to talk about, because you keep giving resources out on your Susan B. Harden Facebook page, on Instagram, lots of places, and they're not just Mecklenburg County resources. So, and I've got people, again, I have people all over the country, and in we can't talk about Canada because we don't know what's going on up there. We're not allowed to go to Canada. They were smart. They locked us out. The Canadians said, no more of you guys. Where are places in North Carolina we can search? Where are places, because I'm thinking about it, my house cleaner, she's not, I got her to come in real quick, but right before the ordinance, but she can't come for 30 days. We've got nail techs, we've got lash, we've got my brow person. Like, I'm going to do my communication strategy plan with her during this season, but she can do that. What about our hair people? What can they do to supplement their income? What are some resources available to them?
Well, I mean, I think that's a really great challenge. I mean, I think you nailed it correctly. It's people who, I mean, that whole industry, that whole wellness industry is just got to think differently about how they're going to. So, I mean, actually, you know, offering classes on how people can do it themselves, like actually like, or doing a split screen where you kind of coach somebody on how to do it. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
I mean, I would love so we're going to have to think about how, those folks can switch from being the actual technicians to learning how they can be coaches and consultants. And so, but I can tell you that people are going to want to, keep their brows trimmed and managed. And so, I mean, I think that's important, as you said, but you should know that the disaster relief that came across the federal disaster relief includes relief for self-employed people. And so, so I know many of the folks in healthcare that provide wellness services and beauty services are in fact self-employed. So
Yeah.
I think I sent you that link, Arden. Of if you Google unemployment for disaster relief, you'll see the application process for that. So.
Yeah. And I will tell people, I went through it yesterday just to see. It's a little convoluted, so play around with it. Sometimes you have to check multiple, like unemployed for several reasons before you can actually qualify for the benefits. And then the benefits was a little convoluted. So maybe give it a week for things to get worked out. Make sure your taxes are done, all these sorts of things that you can, even if it's like 2018, make sure your 2018 taxes are done. Make sure you can qualify for that, for the gift, because it's based on 2018 taxes, not 2019. I checked in on that. And just what can we do? What have you seen that's working for our kids? So you also work with a lot of our school systems.
Yeah, I mean, so I
right now?
like that they're just starting. I mean, they're actually getting up to speed pretty quickly on this online learning.
Okay.
I think the challenge for us is making sure that every kid has access to the internet. I think one thing that you're going to see happen very quickly, which is going to be a great thing for our community, is we're going to have community-wide Wi-Fi. I mean, that's got to happen, because none of this that we're trying to do works if you don't have the internet, right? So. Right. So one of the things I think that will be a very quick outcome of this is that we will have community-wide access to Wi-Fi. And so that'll happen pretty quickly, I think. So so that's a really good thing. But, but many people in our district are connected to the online. And so I can tell you that teachers are working around the clock. They're really doing a good job trying to figure out how to get all their classes online and in schools. I think, and there's a lot of new resources. The library's putting up a lot of resources.
I'll put that link in.
Yeah, that people are starting to kind of provide extra resources. Things like Khan Academy and, tutoring programs are starting to go very quickly online now. Tutors are going right to online. So, making sure that, you can Google those pretty quickly. They're really doing a good job of getting everything online pretty quickly. But the research tells us that kids really can't do that all day long. So making sure you're taking breaks. Certainly, letting kids run around outside is really important. Just recognize that group play dates aren't a recommended practice, because we know kids are carriers and they spread it quickly. So you're really trying to isolate yourself and your family as much as possible, but trying to stay as active as possible within your own family. So,
okay, so I have a funny question. So every time I'm out walking, some people will, everyone's friendly and waving, but you'll have that one person that you're walking, and they go all the way around, like 10 feet around. And I want to look at them and go, guys, I'm not coughing on you, right? Like, oh, you're getting called. Coughing.
Yeah, sorry. I gotta plug in my phone. I'm going into low power mode here.
But you want to go, I'm not coughing on you. You can't get it that quickly. Like, I really feel like people are not fully understanding. I can't just breathe out air and you get it, right? I mean, it is highly contagious, but I think some people are panicking, staying in their homes, not going anywhere, not touching anything. Is it that contagious?
Well, it's pretty contagious, but I would say that you know, the 6 foot distancing thing is recommended. You don't want, I mean, really, I think what's annoying to me is when I see people actually doing the opposite thing, where like someone sneezes right in your face and you're like, man, are you serious? You know, like,
No.
for real? Can you like cover your sneeze? You know, really? Come on,
Yeah.
come on. So, but no, I mean, you know, people don't need to they don't need to cross the street when they see you walking down the street. You know, I mean, I think you just, you know, I mean, I think people they're confused about what's okay. And I'll be honest with you, Arden. I mean, there's a lot we don't know. And so people are just going to the worst place. And I don't, you know, I mean, that's what we do, right? In the absence of facts, we just make stuff up, right? So, I mean, that's what we do. But I mean, it's important for everybody to see other people. I think this is really hard. I'll tell you who I think this is really hard on. I think it's really hard on people who are in nursing homes, which are completely locked down. And I think it's hard on single people, you know, that, you know, don't have, you know, I mean, so we need to be with other people. It's a part of our life. So figuring that piece out, you know?
Yeah. I was talking to someone last night and I was like, it is biblical. Man was not created to be alone. And so I say that all the time. Like, I am, even though I love my,
tell me how you're doing, Arden. Like, how
you know,
I mean,
here's the thing about I hustle. So I use this time, like my friend Dre and I talk about this because he and I work so much. It's the weekends that are the hardest for us. So, because we can lock ourselves in our house, get in a quick workout and work 12 hours a day. But on the weekend, we're used to community. So that's where last week I had to speak. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I got out to Freedom Park for a little bit and saw my friends for a little bit. But I am missing church and I'm missing I'm able to do group fitness. I'm working with my friend Jamie. So we do a group fitness a couple of times a week on Zoom. So that's fine. But it's tomorrow I'll be curious what my mindset is. Because it's going to be pretty. I'm really trying not to work so I don't overwork myself and because I'll have a breakdown and then won't be able to do anything. But yeah, that's my biggest. I'm not necessarily concerned about money yet. I always hopefully I've got some cool things in the pipeline. I'm having a class with Jen Gittimer and Crystal Rose. We're calling.
I saw that. That looks fantastic. Fantastic.
I am telling you right now. I'm like, so Jen Gittimer has 2 million downloads on her podcast. Crystal is just like a baller and has hundreds of thousands of followers and different things, and everything she sells, people buy. And I'm like, and then there's little old me. And we're only doing it for like $2.97 and you get personal interaction. I was like, so that's where my mind, luckily, I'm super creative and congeniously like, how do we provide services for people while also making money? The capitalist that I am.
I mean, it's important. I mean, and I think the way you're thinking about it is right on in terms of, I mean, I look at Crystal's business and I think her business is going to expand exponentially through this.
So, and that's mine. I'm like, I want more people knowing about her, what she's doing, how she brands it, how she builds it. Jen is really reaching into a new space in her business. So that's why I'm doing this TV show. It was a Q2 project, but I'm like, I have so many people at my fingertips. How can I help them? How can I get their voice out? I'm recording all of these. I'm putting them on YouTube once I figure that out. So that I'm getting ingenious, but I am nervous about tomorrow. So
well,
I
think
can I run up and see my parents, or is that allowed? Can I have, because your rules were like, and I'll put the rules on here too. Don't go see people that aren't sick. And I was like, maybe I'll tell my mom she has a cough and I'll come up there and check on her.
Well, no, it's not going to be a police state. So you're not going to be pulled over by the police. It's not that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's just not that kind of thing. And so, I mean, it's completely your decision to do in terms of how you want how you want to interact with your parents, and it's their decision too. I mean, they're grown people. They know what their situation is. So I mean, you don't have to. It's your decision. It's completely your decision. And as I said, you're not going to receive a citation or anything. So do right for your family.
That's right. Who knows what I'll do? But does anybody? I haven't gotten any questions on my little thing. So thank you. We can wrap up now. This has been so helpful. Is there anything else you feel like people need to know? Ways they can follow you to stay up in touch?
Well, I want to say that I just as you're thinking, you have such a network around small business owners, and I think that people are going to be looking for, I think, figuring out ways that you can do subscription services to good information. So now everything's going to be switched to online, and so how can people, I subscribe to content that I really value, and so I think that thinking about how you can curate what you do and have people subscribe to it, I think is a really valuable thing. And so and I think people are going to be looking for that very quickly, because I think people are going to be wanting to support trusted sources. So don't hesitate to try those type of business models, because I think those are going to be really good things. And the other thing I would say is let your community know if you have any problems, they should reach out to their elected officials, because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're here. So if they have a concern, they should call us. If they have a issue about applying for a benefit, they should call us. If they have any problems or anything good to say, if they have anything that they are, also just send us the good news. If you have a resource, I mean, we push that stuff out. So I mean, if there's good news, like, hey, we've moved online, or we've done this delivery service, here's how you can do that, let us know, because people ask us for resources all the time. So keep your elected officials in the loop, because we're trying to help people make this transition as easily as possible. So good news, bad news, we're here to serve. And so be sure to reach out to us.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's one thing we could do is whoever's in District 5, Green Brothers, Infinity Med Spa. I'm thinking of ones that are in the No Tribe. I've got a couple others who are in District 5. They're all doing some online services.
Push it out to us, because we push that out to our networks, because people ask us all the time. I mean, understandably, they're like upset, like, how do I, this service was really important to my wellness. What do I do now? And so just being able to push those resources out, you're doing us. I mean, we want to help. I'm
tagging Joe Brent on this, because I ordered, and here's the thing that's making me, I know I'm being more conscious, because I needed face wash. And I was on Amazon looking for face wash, and I went, hold on, Infinity has face wash. I just was at, where we were 2 weeks ago, and I was like, they have face wash. Their employees can't work right now. Let me order from her. And it was here the next day. Like,
totally. That's what I'm saying. I think that we know that the push is going to be for local, but if as elected officials, if we don't know what those are, we don't know who's open and closed. I mean, we need to hear from small businesses. Like, we're open. This is switch. This is how we're, complying with the stay in place order, but this is what we're doing. And I think that's awesome. And we want to get that information out.
Okay, I tagged them on it so they will know. Steffi, send Susan your delivery stuff for Green Brothers, because Steffi's in our district. And I know I had my AB&J this morning. They have frozen smoothies that they have curbside delivery, curbside pickup, and all that kind of stuff now. So, just trying to find really ways to support each other, because again, why I'm doing Arden's chats, and then we'll hop off, is I am not a trillionaire. If I was a trillionaire, I would be buying all your stuff right now. My friend in Greensboro has Gabri Candles, which are, oh my God, they're fantastic. I'm tagging May. So what she's doing with her new candle launch is, and she's going to be on here soon, in a couple of days. She is now giving, for every 100 candles she sells, she is giving $500 away to someone. You can
Awesome.
And I was like, I can go buy. I've wanted these candles for like 2 months, since knowing that they were coming, and so I bought the success candle, and it's got an emerald in it and all these sorts of things. And I'm going to nominate someone that I think deserves it. I love these genius ideas coming out.
Arden, put that company's name also in my feed, because I certainly want to. I need a candle. God, if I ever, I love candles. I keep them going all, like while I'm working the whole time, because it helps me.
It does. Really, and this one, the one I got is called I Am Success, and it has Palo Santo in it, which is my favorite fragrance. And Palo Santo is also, I don't know if you're woo at all, but Palo Santo, you like wave it around you and it gets rid of the negativity that you've experienced.
Woo! Love it. Get rid of that negativity.
All right, I'll pop them on, and just cool ways that we're just really working together. And just, here's what I'm telling people, and I'm going to say it again. We cannot support every small business. We are not Donald Trump or Bill Gates or my Sharon Lecter or like the women and men I know who are trillionaires at this point, right? But we can, y'all should be reading Sharon Lecter's Think and Grow Rich for Women, because the next time this comes around, I am going to be a trillionaire and I will be able to just buy her stuff. What we can do is put information out about people, support them. And what I'm trying to do is support 2 new local businesses a week. So I was able to support May this week, and I supported my friend Jamie, who's doing my fitness classes. Now, I'll continue to support different Jamie and Steffi and all that, because we're really dear friends, but just pick 2. Keep your price points under $50 so it's not so overwhelming. If you're, I know, because a lot of people are worried, but pick 2 and just know that that's going to come back to you as well. Say, you know, in the world of social media, you tag the person, they're going to share it that you're doing it, and you're going to start to grow together. So next week you should pick Crystal, Jen, and me and buy our class. That's who you should support.
Well, and I think that thing hard to think about is that there are actually, I would also think about having an elite service, because the fact of the matter is that we live in a boom town. Charlotte is a boom town, and there are people who are willing to pay top dollar to have a special service. And so thinking about how you can access that top tier of client, because they are isolated and alone, and they need guidance. And so figuring out how small business can tap into that, I think is going to be important.
I think so too. And I think one thing I'd like everybody to, if the one thing you're spending money on is personal development, that's why so many people have classes now. Just think that I'm just talking about our class, that $300 that you'd pay for our class, that you're going to get downloadables. The first 50 people are going to get access to us to ask questions. You're going to get a complete package to walk away with. That $300 is going to impact you and grow and turn. So think about ways you're spending money, because we want to keep the economy going. We don't want to go into recession or depression or any of that. But how is that money benefiting you? It's why I spend money on health and fitness all the time, because it benefits me. So wherever it is, I'm not just doing this to plug mine, although I am. But what else are you doing, right? Like, how are you pouring into, Susan, you want to be a community leader. You are a community leader and you want to grow that. So you pour money into things that are important to you for your growth, while also supporting really great companies. So that's something I think provides so much positive energy for us. So
absolutely.
Y'all don't have to give away stuff for free. You do not have to. You're not bad. Do not give it away for free, because once everything goes for free, that's when the market starts dipping and these sorts of things. But take advantage of the free stuff we have. Like, I was at the park last week. I keep saying we're going to wrap up, but then I was so grateful that people were finally seeing our beautiful parks in Mecklenburg County.
Truly. Wasn't that awesome? I mean,
yes, y'all tax dollars pay for it. You might as well use it.
Totally. So you're right. There, and that's true. There are free things, but you know, I do think that the small business that figures out how to, you know, commoditize and tap into that elite folks who actually have money that are feeling very isolated right now, who need that connection, you'll be the winner.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you, ma'am. This has been
You're
great.
the best, Arden. And listen, everybody knows that I would not be the community leader I am today without everything you've done for me. So I truly am appreciative from the bottom. I'm so glad to be a client of Definita, and you've helped me with so many of my communications and my presence, my media presence. I would not be the community leader I am today without you. So thank you, Arden, for everything you've done.
You are so welcome. I'm putting your Susan at Susan B. Harden, because that's easier for me to remember, email in here for people to reach out to you with their great ideas. Let's remember our county commissioners, our elected officials need to hear your good stuff too. There's a lot of happening right now. They're here to help you. I saw you helping someone last night on Messenger, and you do such a good job at that. So we really appreciate it. More elected officials need to be like you.
Thanks, Arden. Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.